All please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can I get a roll call?
Mr. Cook?
Here.
Mr. D'Adriano?
Here.
Mr. Logan?
Here.
Ms. Smith? Here. Mr. Williams?
Here. Somebody like to audit the bills?
I will make a motion to approve abstract number 11 dated June 11th, 2021 in the amount of $125,284.75. So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We have no budget transfers, so Mr. D'Adriano.
Okay, first item I have is the wastewater treatment repairs. So I have a memo here from Dennis Mays from Building and Maintenance. We recently had our UMA SAR decant drive at the wastewater treatment plant trip out. Further inspection and resetting it was found that it would not run as needed. Fortunately enough, we had a backup on hand for these situations. Allied Pollution pulled the existing unit out and replaced it with the backup. They're up and running in a very short period of time. The defective UMA SAR was sent out to Raritan Group, where they diagnosed and found that the unit was in need of a rebuild. Due to the fact that lead time usually takes a couple of months, I would like to have this rebuilt and have it on hand on the plant. So we're looking at, he's requesting that we take the one that was tripped out, as he put it, and have it rebuilt for the amount of $6,564. So is this something that we would want to do?
I would recommend that we do it. We've done it in the past, and thank God, because we've had others. This is about the third one, I think, that we've had to rebuild.
So that one that we had on hand was a rebuilt from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was good that we had it and got the plant up and running right away.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to approve $6,564 for the rebuild of the decant. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Why do I always get the crappy agenda items? I had to say that.
We're waiting all night for that.
It's gonna be one of those nights.
Next item I have is a sick bank. I'd like to table that to after the executive session for the discussion. So I have to make a motion on that. So,
I think we can just table it.
table.
Move on.
Very good.
Charles?
Pete, you're good.
I'm good, thank you.
Next, we have a non-bid procurement request form from our controller with regard to ordering 40 cases of 8.5 by 11 copy paper. Trish received 3 quotes. The low quote was from Staples for $1,200. So I will make a motion that the town board approve the expenditure of the 40 cases of copy paper to Staples and not to exceed $1,200. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sean?
Okay, so next item is really an update for the board on the filing of the map plan and report for the proposed expansion to the Patterson Hamlet Sewer District. This is for the Patterson mobile station on the corner of Route 22 and 311. And this is so that they can connect to our town sewer. The filing of the map plan and report is from Inside Engineering, and it's for the owner or the operator at this point, CPD New York Energy. And so our town supervisor has provided comments to the engineering firm. And I understand, Rich, it says that there may also be additional comments from our engineering staff, correct?
That is true.
Okay. And so essentially, though, this is to move forward with that project, which we're hoping to get done over the next couple of months, and will greatly help out because the mobile station has had a history of a failing septic system. So this will obviously remediate that problem. So it'd be great for the facility, it's great for the town, and it'd be great for public health. So just that update for the board and for the public. Thank you.
Okay, my office has received 2 separate requests to amend the zoning code. I'll deal with them separately. The first one has to do with the property owned by the Thunder Ridge Ski Area. There is, as you all recall, the Alpine Restaurant that is sitting out in front, and in front of that, there's a small commercial building that was last used by somebody selling horse tack. They've gone out of business. I've been contacted by somebody who wants to use it for a hair salon, customary personal services. Unfortunately, when we put it in the CR district, because it was all owned by Thunder Ridge, that's not a use that's permitted in that zoning district. So I'm throwing it out to the board. I would recommend to the board that we consider changing that piece of property back into the C1 zoning district. That would allow the restaurant, retail, and also the hair salon.
How do we do that?
Well, I gave you a memo. Basically, what we do is we have to amend section 154-43.4 by deleting out the tax map parcel that it's related to the Alpine Restaurant.
We have to have a public hearing?
Oh, yeah, we have to do a local law and everything.
Everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thoughts, comments?
Yeah, let's do it.
The the building where this hair salon is proposed, as well as the restaurant, are both tied into this sewer connection.
No,
They're not.
they are
So,
not. They are
so
tied
would-
into a separate septic system.
so then the only question I would have is because the restaurant has been vacant for a long time, but if the restaurant were to come back a year after doing this change and having a hair salon, would we be okay on our water usage for that, you know?
Don't know, which is why I recommended to the individual that's interested in doing this to go see the health department
Mhm.
and have a conversation with them about that septic system and the water usage.
That's a good point, because, yeah, no, it just seemed like I remember that being a limitation.
It's a
In the past.
very old septic system that is located behind the restaurant, right up against that stream. I don't know what the capacity of that septic system is.
Hmm.
And
And it may be the kind of thing that in the future, if a restaurant were looking, they may have to prove out the septic before, even though it's been used as such.
well,
So,
the good news is they now have that field to the south.
yeah, right. So there's plenty of room. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna move forward with that, it sounds
Sure.
like.
Yes.
Okay. The second one has to do with a request from somebody who currently is operating a veterinary service in the hamlet of Patterson. It's a very low-key operation. They're looking to move their offices and exam rooms from the house into the barn. Fortunately, under our current code, they can't do that. This is an old use that was allowed many, many years ago. And so what I've prepared for the board is a special use permit that would be, they could apply for. It would be reviewed by the planning board in conjunction with the site plan. There are some restrictions on it. Questions?
Yes. Section B, where you say that owned and operated by not more than 2 veterinarians and at least one whom shall own the property and who shall both be residents of the property.
Correct.
But what happens if, let's just call it the current owners, 2 veterinarians, one retires or something like that, and another one comes in, that means they have to live there?
Yes,
It's tough, isn't it?
yes.
What's the
We're
purpose of-
trying, we're trying, so if you go down through all the criteria that I've set up there, we're allowing this in a residential zoning district. And what we want to make sure is that the property that's going to be used for a semi-commercial use for veterinary service is going to maintain that residential character.
And be
Yeah, we're not-
subordinate to the residential use in the
Yeah.
area, right?
It's not going to be a commercial use in the
Right.
middle of a residential neighborhood. And that's the intent of that and a couple of these other sections specifically, is to make sure that we maintain that residential character.
Okay, that may be difficult for continuation of the business.
Well, honestly, I'm anticipating that except for this particular individual, which this fits perfectly, that, and again, when we write code, we have to write it in a generic way, so it's not specific to just one property. There are other properties. There are 3 or 4 properties right down here on 311 that would also qualify for this. There are properties going the other way on 292 that would qualify for this. Typically, I'm viewing this as there's really only going to be one vet technician, veterinarian.
Mhm.
In this particular case, there happens to be 2,
Mhm.
but
I agree with you. I think that if having them be residents there would prevent them from leaving the property and having animals barking all night, if they've had,
Yeah.
surgeries or some type of, any type of services being done, that if they're living there, they're not going to be happy with listening to animals barking, so they'll make sure the animals are content.
Right.
And so will the surrounding neighbors be happy.
Good point.
Yeah.
Okay.
And remember, this is a minimum 5-acre lot size, so this isn't, postage stamp size lots either,
Mhm.
Right.
so.
My next question is letter D. The area of the building use of veterinary service shall not exceed 35% of the floor area of both the principal and the accessory.
no, it says 35% of the floor area of the principal residential building. So if they've got a home, right?
Whether located in the principal building or the accessory building.
Correct. Right. So if they've got a house, right, and most houses, old farmhouses go anywhere from between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet, right?
Yep.
The area that would be devoted to the exam room and the office and maybe a little area for keeping a pet that's undergone surgery overnight can't be any more than 35% if it's in the house, because we want to make sure the house stays a residence.
Right.
Isn't just entirely a veterinary
I
center.
agree with that. I'm just asking.
So then you move it over to a barn, you still have to limit the size. And if you're talking about, between a building between 2,000 and 3,000 square feet, then, you're talking about a,
700 to 1,000 square foot.
yeah, exactly. And that's a reasonable size area to have your exam room, your office, waiting room, and maybe a little area to store the pets, right? Without having something in there that's so big it's out of character.
Because again, the primary use of the site is still residential use, so you want the primary greater proportion, the 2/3 proportion to be devoted. Rich, would that same theory apply to people that run daycares out of their homes? The same analogy? That
Yes.
you would want it to be
And the way we set it up for daycare is it runs that same, runs along that same logic. The problem we have with most daycares, though, is the state comes in and supersedes us.
My last question is on E. We talk about access to this service,
Yes,
state or county road.
yes.
What about town road?
So generally, if you're going to have that increase in traffic from a commercial use of a piece of property, you want that occurring on a state or county road. You don't want it on a town road. Can you imagine if, somebody decided they were going to do something on South Street like this or West Street? It's really out of character for that kind of a tight residential neighborhood
Yeah.
serviced by a town road.
I understand that, but we're also talking about 5 acres, right? You're not going to
Yeah.
find 5 acres, right, on South Street.
No, but you might find it off of Richard Street here in the back. That is a real street, by the way.
Yeah. Aye.
So would the code enforcement officer be visiting this site frequently to make sure that they're staying compliant?
I wouldn't say they're gonna visit it frequently. They probably would visit it, and it's probably gonna be subject to fire inspections. I don't know the frequency, but generally they're on a 3-year cycle. All right, so am I proceeding forward with this?
Yep.
Okay,
Yes.
and we will do so. Next on my agenda is the Kessman landfill. This is just to inform everybody that the Kessman landfill, which is located on Cornwall Hill Road across from Patterson Highway Garage, is going to be, is going to have some remedial work done on it by the DEC. The DEC is putting the bill, but they've been sampling out there, and they found an area that has PCBs. So in the northeast corner of the landfill, they are going to be going in and removing anywhere between 1 and 3 feet of fill of wetland soils because of the elevated PCBs, and replacing it with wetland soils and then revegetating it. Want to let everybody know that this is not a case of PCBs leaching out of the landfill or, somehow mysteriously appearing out there. This remedial action is being undertaken by the DEC simply because they have lowered their standards for the PCB content as it relates to hazardous waste. So there's nothing new out there. There's nothing going on. Nothing's leaching out of the site. It's just a lowering of the standards. Anybody have any questions? Okay. And the last thing I have is an executive session personnel. I'll defer that to the end of the agenda. Mary?
Yep, I have some recreation requests this week from Beth Howell and Chris Aquina. There are swim lessons and a swim workshop. They're happy to announce that these 2 new programs for the Putnam Lake community, swim lessons and swim workshop. It will be roughly based off the old Piranha's swim program. Their supervising lifeguard and certified swim instructor, Beth Howell, will be running these programs at the rate of $25 per hour. The lessons would be a 2-week-long program with 2 available sessions. Lessons will be offered to children ages 4 through 10. The first session would run from July 12th through the 23rd, and the second session would run August 2nd through August 13th, both being only on weekdays. Lesson time will last a total of 1 hour per day. Our resident fee is $150 per participant for 1 session, 3-person minimum, 20-person maximum per session. Non-resident fee would be $200 each participant. Makeup days in case of beach closures will be announced as it is on this document. And the swim workshop will be a 3-week-long program with only 1 available session. This workshop will be offered to children ages 7 through 16. The workshop would run from July 19th through August 6th. On weekdays, the workshop will last a total of 2 hours per day. Resident fee, there'll be a 13-person minimum and 20-person max per session. First child, $130. The second child will be $100, and the third child will be $75. Non-resident fees will be $180 for the first child, $150 for the second child, and the third child, $125. Makeup days in case of beach closures will be during the week of August 9th through the 13th. The program promotion and registration, My Rec reaches large customer base, easy online registration, easy payment collections. Funds would need to be moved to the rec to appropriate department based on the budget allocation. So if you're interested, I guess you can go to contact the Town of Patterson Recreation Center. You can go to www.pattersonrec.org if you'd like to sign up. I don't see that there's a sign up date, an end, but I would get in there because it looks like the programs are 20-person maximum for each one. So you probably want to get signed up soon. Second item.
Are we approving the fees on that?
Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, there was an announcement. Okay, so I'll make a motion to approve the fees that per this document as I have already read. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The second item is I had tabled the request for a fee waiver from the Patterson Library for a event they'd like to hold on July 23rd at the Recreation Center. I reached out to Matt Chavarro and Miss Jen at the Patterson Library, and I'm happy to say that in conjunction with the Patterson Library, the Patterson Rec Center would like to hold an annual musical on July 23rd, 2021. So there will be no need for waiving of a fee or a charge of a fee. And Miss Jen will be sending us some paperwork with the details of the musical probably within the next 2 weeks. So I don't think we need to, do we need to make any, because we're not. Okay. Just double check. Am I doing this? Is that where this was passed to me?
Usually Pete takes care of the EMS.
Oh,
Yeah.
somehow I got.
Just a copy of
Pete-
it.
Did
Pete
you do
did,
it?
yeah.
You know, we just got a copy, everyone got a copy of it.
Did you do it though?
No.
They
no,
just,
new
they
business.
just did the interviews tonight, which is why I held it back, because I
Okay,
wanted
was
Pete to do
wondering
the
why I got
interviews.
that.
So we don't-
Other business.
We're tired. I'm tired. I'm sure
It's been
Pete's
a while.
Oh,
tired.
it's been a long week. yeah.
All right, so yes, we did interview a very fine young man today for the EMT position, myself, Charlie, and Sean. Pretty impressed by his experience and the way he interviewed. So I'd like to make a motion. We do have a resolution here to hire him, so I'd like to make a motion to approve this resolution into the record as read, that we authorize hiring of John Nickershare to serve as a part-time EMT at the rate of $15 per hour on a temporary basis, subject to completion of all civil service requirements, background checks, and compliance with all requirements of the town of Patterson employee handbook. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other business?
Tabling this, or we're just doing it?
We're gonna wait till later.
Yeah.
All right, hearing none, we will open it up to public recognition. Is there any member here with us tonight who wishes to make any comments? Rush up to the mic. No? Since nobody wants to come up to the mic, is there any member of the audience that who is with us on Zoom, who wishes to make any comments? If you would unmute and give your name for the record, ask your question or make your comment. Owen? Oh,
Motion to go into executive session.
do I have a second?
I just have one thing.
Hold on.
So I just wanted to mention, so two Sundays ago, my family and I attended the Patterson Baptist Church. They had the Patterson Day that recognized all the Patterson town employees, elected officials, and first responders. It was a very nice ceremony. Ginny Nasarino was there representing the county, represented the town. We had several first responders, very nice service, and it literally ended in a bang, a 3 cannon salute, which was really cool. Pastor Maxwell was dressed in his revolutionary garb. He gave his sermon in it. It was really pretty interesting. So I just wanted to thank Pastor Maxwell and the Patterson Baptist Church for recognizing the town employees and elected officials.
Thank you for representing the town. It's always a great event down there. Unfortunately, we got noticed a little late this year, so I didn't think he was doing it this year. But he did, so great. Anyone else? Okay, now I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you all for coming.